All right, everybody, welcome into the NFL Seekers podcast. I'm your host, Josh Stores, with my co host, Danny Aker. We're going to be getting into another mock draft. We want to do at least three before the draft next Thursday. This will be our second one. We're going to be doing a mock with trades. Danny's going to start us off with pick number one, and then I'll be going number two, and we'll go back and forth. Danny, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited today. There was a trade that went down today. We've been pretty low on NFL news lately, so that's been fun. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Allen Robinson to the Steelers trade, though?
I think he'll be solid. I think he'll be a good addition to that receiving
Mhm.
room. I think the Steelers are getting better. I like their receiver core. They're always so good at drafting receivers late in the draft. So I'm surprised they actually went out and traded for one. But I
That's
mean,
true.
they got some studs out there, and so I'm excited to see what Kenny Pickett can do. He's got the surrounding talent.
Yeah, they got a deep wide receiver core. They got I mean, outside of Pickens and Deontay Johnson, obviously they have Calvin Austin still, Allen Robinson. Yeah, that's crazy. But I don't know. It's crazy they only gave up a seventh, so you can't really fault the trade at all for the Steelers. I think that's a perfect wide receiver for
They're
veteran.
not paying too much. I think the Rams
Yeah.
still have like a $10 million cap hit on him, and they're taking on five. So
Yeah, and he's
that's
reliable.
not too
He finds open spots. He's a smart receiver. He's reliable. He doesn't really drop much. So as disappointing as he's been compared to expectations recently, he's probably going to be decent for the Steelers in his role.
bad.
And
Also, what's
we
your
haven't really
thoughts on
covered. Were you going to talk about Odell?
Yeah, we haven't been covering too much NFL news. We've been
Yeah,
doing full force into the draft. But I
yeah,
mean, we could
no,
talk about, like Jalen Hurts just got his giant contract. He's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, or highest paid player ever. That's going to be interesting. So Burrow and Herbert, I'm sure, will probably break that here in the next coming weeks.
easily. Yeah, it's just going to keep
Yep.
getting broken
But
every week. But yeah,
yep. All right.
but yeah,
Well,
what
with
are your
that,
thoughts
should
on
we just
Odell? Odell of the Ravens, real quick
oh
before
yeah,
we start.
Odell to the Ravens. I don't know. I don't know if I love the fit. I don't know if
Really?
I like. I don't know. And I guess maybe it gets Lamar Jackson excited so they can re-sign him.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's going to be much of a difference maker there, and I don't like their system and the way Odell plays. Um, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if it helps them get Lamar back, then good for them.
yeah. It seems like they really just did it for Lamar, and he does complement Bateman and Duvernay well, so I like that. They could still draft one. I guess we'll see what we do here. But yeah, with that, let's get into it. I'm excited to get into the mock, and I've got the first pick with the Panthers. And we're gonna do trades, right?
Yes, sir. You're on the clock.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So I'm gonna make this one really easy.
Cue the
All right. I'm gonna make this one really easy. I'm gonna go with a crazy concept, and I'm gonna take the best overall player in the draft. I'm gonna take the best overall quarterback in the draft, the best overall passer, the best in every category, really, amongst the quarterbacks. He's the best quarterback I've seen for a while. Why wouldn't I take him? I'm taking Bryce Young. It's pretty obvious. I mean, come on.
All right, I love the pick. I love the pick. I feel like you'd be crazy, to not take Bryce Young. I mean, I'm high on CJ Stroud. I know he on like what is it, the Wonderluck or whatever their new testing system is. I think they have a new
Mhm.
one this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah, the
know
best
CJ
grade.
Stroud tested really well.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Bryce Young, I think he's your safest pick. I know he's a little bit undersized, but I mean the upside's all there. I think he's a little bit like Joey B.
Mhm.
I think he'd be. I mean, I wouldn't mind Stroud here, but Bryce Young, you can't go wrong with the pick.
Yeah, he's the cleanest. He's the most accurate. He's People knock his height. That's the one knock on him is his height, but it's never affected him. He's the best thrower over the middle in this class, so it clearly doesn't affect him that much. He's a better thrower over the middle than Richardson and Levis and Stroud, and they're all pretty tall. So I mean, it's not
Oh,
gonna
for sure.
hold him back. I promise you. Just take the best quarterback in the draft. Let's move on to the Texans. There's been a lot of smoke lately.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, what's up with all this smoke? No
Mhm.
quarterback. Oh, we might not have a quarterback till pick four for the Colts. The next quarterback's gonna be picked. I don't know. Of course, that's a week prior to the draft to try and throw everyone off and everyone's draft boards. Like, oh, are we overthinking these quarterbacks? Are we too high on them? Because I mean, some people thought quarterbacks would go 1, 2, 3, and 4, but
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot of smoke. We're a week out of the draft, but I mean, am I crazy enough to not take C.J. Stroud here? Am I?
I
You
I
know,
personally think CJ Stroud isn't going to go here. It's looking like it's going to be Anderson or trade down or even Anthony Richardson. I just don't think the Texans love Stroud. I don't think they ever have.
you don't think? All right. Well, you know what? Give me Will Anderson to the Texans.
Ooh, I like
Let's
it.
get one of the cleanest, best players in the draft. Lock him in. Maybe teams might be a little bit scared of that. Whatever. What's that? It's the Wonderluck test, right? Is that what they
Yeah,
call it?
Wonderlick. Yep, Wonderlick.
Yeah, and I think he tested like an all-time low. And for a quarterback, you kind of want him to be a little bit smarter. So let's just get the safest, cleanest prospect and let's go Will Anderson.
I love
The
it. I
smoke's
love
getting to me.
it. No, I think it's good. I think it's going to happen. You get D'Amico Ryan's his first ever draft pick is someone he can develop into an All Pro for sure, a perennial All Pro.
I mean, defensive-minded head coach. Makes
Hmm.
sense.
It's perfect. Yep.
Maybe
Um.
they don't fall in love with any of these guys.
Yep. At three, I
All right.
struggle with.
Should we get into the pick?
Yeah, I struggle with three. I don't know if we should trade it. If you have any ideas of someone that could come up, let me know. I don't mind taking a corner here. I don't mind taking Jalen Carter here. A corner would be surprising to people, but they lost Byron Murphy. I think they could take Witherspoon or Gonzalez. Jalen Carter's the best player available, obviously. I might take him if I don't trade down. Is there anyone
I
that you
mean,
would want to trade up with?
we got the Lions, Raiders, Falcons. I mean, I've been hearing smoke about the Titans trading up. I'm not so sure they love their quarterback situation. I would really, really like CJ Stroud to the Titans personally. So I wouldn't mind that trade up. I mean, I think they'd have to give up a whole heck of a lot of compensation, but the Cardinals need it. I mean, they'd probably be more wise to trade down and try and collect something. So, the next team could, whoever their highest graded quarterback is, could jump over the Colts, who are probably for sure going to take a quarterback.
And you picked for the
But
Colts too. Would you consider trading up for the Colts just one spot and securing Stroud or
oh, I think the Colts are going to be stubborn, and I think they're going to stick and pick.
mm,
I feel like they are probably comfortable enough with Will Levis or C.J. Stroud, whoever falls to them,
yeah. And Richardson's
and
still available.
so
Yeah.
and Richardson. So I think in this situation, I think they're comfortable enough. But if another team loves a guy enough, like I don't know, Would you want to consider the Titans?
I just don't know if they have the capital to trade up that much, that high at least. Like I feel like if someone fell, they would trade up around 7 and 8, but I don't know if they would go up to 3. Do you?
I mean, if they love their guy, I mean, their quarterback situation, Ryan Tannehill.
That's the other thing. Like it's not beautiful, but they still have Tannehill and they took Willis in the third. Like it's not great, but it's not that bad. It's a very luxury pick when they have a huge need at the O line too. So I don't know. I
I
might
mean, if
just
you
stick and
really
pick
think
it.
about it, yeah, I mean, you can stick and pick it, but I mean, really, Colts, Seahawks, Lions, Raiders, and Falcons all might want quarterbacks. So, I mean, nearly any of these teams that maybe we don't have a good enough trade package. Maybe the
Mhm.
Cardinals have their number one guy and they just stick and pick.
Yeah, I don't really see the Raiders trading up after Jimmy G, at least up to 3. With 3 quarterbacks still here, I'm just gonna say that no one really wants to trade up, and the Cardinals are just gonna stick and pick and take the best prospect in the draft. He has off-field concerns, but I'm just gonna go with Jalen Carter, and he's their biggest need. They have the worst D line I've ever seen, ever. I'm not kidding. It's the
Pretty
worst D line I've ever seen. So just get Jalen Carter. Take the risk. You're bad. You're a bad team.
I like it. I like it. Well, why do I think the Colts are so comfortable to stick and pick at number 4? Because I think they're the highest on Will Levis, and Will Levis is a Colt, and we're gonna lock that in, and we're gonna forget about it. I don't care that C.J. Stroud's there. I don't care that Anthony Richardson's there, especially that C.J. Stroud didn't do good on his test. if you think about Chris Ballard, what is Chris Ballard like? And I think all the signs and everything point to Will Levis. So
You're gonna do it.
lock it in. Will Levis is a Colt. He's always been a Colt.
He's gonna do it. Wow. I mean, I think they would take Stroud over him. I think Levis is just the backup option. But I mean, Will Levis, it seems like he's a Colt. I'm not gonna fault you for that pick.
Will Levis is a Colt. No matter what circumstances play out, whoever
Yeah.
trades up, whoever doesn't, I'm going to tell you right now, Will Levis is a Colt.
Get Ballard his man. All right. I like it.
And they're weird like that. The Colts are weird like that. But, Will Levis might have the most upside in this entire draft. So I don't hate the pick. I like Will Levis. Do I think would I personally take CJ Stroud over him? Absolutely. But with how the Colts pick, who Chris Ballard is as a dude, how many they've had a top 30 visit. They sent all their guys out to his pro day. I mean, they seem to be invested in him, and I think they seem to think he'll fall to 4 no matter what. So I think they're comfortable staying there.
Yeah. And I think he'll be really good. Him or Stroud both in that situation with that team. I think they'd exceed pretty quickly. I think they both have pretty high floors. Especially Levis has a lot higher floor than Richardson and that than most people think as well. So I like that pick. With the Seahawks, I'm struggling to decide between just best player available and which is a need and Tyree Wilson, or do I go like Skoronski, put him in a guard? They have a pretty good team; they can afford to do that. Or do I go bold and take Stroud or Richardson?
I haven't even thought about Skoronski there, to be honest with you. That would be that's probably their most pressing need is guard. And who better than Peter Skoronski that's got tackle guard flexibility? I haven't even thought of that, to be honest.
Imagine they got Abraham Lucas and Cross last year. They're two bookend tackles, and then they go and get Skoronski and like Villa this year in the second round and just solidify their line. Get Luke Whippler later. Like,
I really like that.
You kind of talking me into it. I kind of talking myself into that. I've never done that before. I've never seen that.
I like it. I really do. And
I like
for
that,
the top, that's going to be the number one offensive lineman on most people's boards. So I don't hate it. I think the tackle guard flexibility makes him really attractive for the Seahawks you could probably even put him in at center. He'd probably be a pretty damn good center.
Oh, so he could play center anywhere. So, he's liquid mercury. Yeah. He's liquid mercury. Just let him flow anywhere in your line. He'll plug in and play good. But before I take him, I love that. But should we consider trading down at all for a quarterback? Do you think anyone would go up? Like the Falcons?
Right now, we have them falling. So, I mean, Anthony Richardson and you got CJ Stroud. I mean, the Seahawks could be the way Geno Smith's contract is set up. They got an out after this year. I mean, it's really a 2-year contract, but it's really a 1-year contract with an out. So, I mean, all of his money is going to be year 2, and they have an out. So, if they don't love Geno Smith, they have the perfect contract to draft a quarterback here too. So, I mean, but I feel like I don't love these two quarterbacks for the Seahawks though. But I don't know. Maybe the Falcons move up. I don't know.
Personally, I love Anthony Richardson here. I'm deciding between him and Skoronski. I love Anthony Richardson for them because he can sit a year, develop under Geno and that good system and scheme. I don't know. It seems like a good situation. It's higher upside at 5th overall. Should I just take Richardson?
I like it. I like it. This is your pick.
It's my pick. I'm going to take Richardson. The value's there. I don't do it often. I'm going to take Richardson. Let him sit behind Geno for a year or so.
The CJ Stroud fall has begun.
Yeah.
Which might happen. Every year in the draft, we are thrown off by somebody who keeps falling.
And the recent news is indicating that it could happen for sure.
Oh, yeah. Whether it's smoke or not, I mean, it could. It's very, very likely this could happen. All right, so I'm at the Lions of number 6. Ooh, there's a couple of tracks. I mean, this is another quarterback landing spot destination, Yep. Do they like CJ Stroud? Do they like a quarterback enough? Do they believe in Jared Goff?
Yeah, a lot of people compare Stroud to a more athletic Jared Goff, and he could sit behind Goff for a year, look really good in that offense next year.
And they still have the 18th overall pick to get an edge I don't know. I mean, CJ Stroud could go here in the next 3 picks to one of these teams. I mean, is there another team? I mean, I wouldn't mind the Lions trading down. Do we think this
Yeah,
would be an attractive spot for the? I really think the Titans need a quarterback, a better quarterback than Tannehill. They're only going to be average with Tannehill.
I
I mean, he
like
could.
Stroud to the Titans. Stroud to the Titans. I've never thought about that. That could be a really good fit
Is
in
that is
that.
that your pick? Are you picking for the Titans, or is that mine?
Um, I am picking for the Titans. I would do that. I would trade up if you wanted to trade down with that. I would do that.
Yeah. How about I give you this year's first and next year's first?
All right,
So would you
let's do it.
take that?
Yeah, let's do it. I
So
kind
I
of
give
like that.
you take six. Yeah.
He's honestly
Or
just
actually, I
an
guess you're
absolute
trading up
dream.
technically.
He's an absolute dream for that offensive scheme. So I really like that actually. Let's go. Oh wait, shoot.
I would love to see him in a Mike Vrabel offense. I think Tannehill would be in the AFC West, or sorry, the AFC.
Hmm.
So let's see. Maybe you give me 11 in next year's first. Okay.
Yeah, I just forced it, but
Okay. And then
um,
that's fine.
all right.
Yeah, I love that. I think the Titans are going to be a sneaky team to trade up. I think they got to get a quarterback. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
all
I
right.
like that a lot.
You got the Raiders here at number 8. You too.
Whew.
So
Do I
I
take
think
Will
that's
Levis?
a sneaky good
Oh wait.
selection.
Oh, the quarterbacks are gone. Oh
He's
wow,
gone.
the
Well,
quarterbacks are all gone.
all of them are gone.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it took a little longer, but they all went top 6 still.
Yeah, this is a pretty unique top six, right? I haven't seen this. I feel like right here the obvious pick is just Devon Witherspoon. They love their zone. He's a brilliant, perfect zone corner. Perfect.
Yeah, they need some help. They need some help, especially going against some of the top quarterbacks in the AFC West. Why not get them the best, probably the most upside corner in this draft, and
Yeah.
try and help out that defense a little bit.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm on the clock with number 8, the Falcons. All right, this. Okay, hear me out on this. You listening? You,
Yeah.
you got to hear me out on this. The Vegas odds have now switched to Bijan Robinson's most likely destination, the Falcons. Might be the highest upside player in this entire draft, probably the safest. I think Arthur Smith, or wait, yeah, Arthur, wait, their coach's name is Arthur Smith, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I think
Arthur.
Arthur Smith doesn't love Desmond Ritter. I mean, a poor quarterback's best friend is going to be a running back, and I think they're going to run the heck out of the ball. I mean, I like the running backs they have, but why not get them the best playmaker in this entire draft and the next LaDainian Tomlinson?
Before you select him, I do want to say, would you trade back to get him, or would you take him here at 8?
I think he's going to go early. I think he's going to
The,
go a lot earlier. I mean, he's a better prospect coming out of college than Saquon Barkley was. And Saquon
yeah.
Barkley was number 2 overall. And for a team, I mean, how much farther could you trade back? Because the Eagles are a spot right there. Even the Lions now trading back to 11 would be a really good spot for him. So I think if you
Mhm.
love him enough, you take him here at number 8. And I want to take Bijan at 8. I would
All
love
right.
to see him in the Falcons uniform. I think that would be fun. I think Arthur Smith would have some fun run game drawn up for him.
All right. I like it. It's unique. I feel like that could be a pick though on draft day where it happens and everyone's freaking out, and then you think about it, and then it's like, oh, kind of makes sense. I'm surprised we didn't mock this more often. But yeah, I like it. He's a
Yeah,
beast.
I mean, the Vegas odds tell you something, and I don't know. I like it. I think. Ooh, imagine Bijan in that freaking Falcons uniform, bro. And
And the
Arthur
Arthur
Smith.
Smith offense, just
Oh,
wide zone, that beautiful offensive line with McGarry, Lindstrom. Oh,
hmm
I love that. Yeah,
You
that'd
have an
be a
average quarterback.
legendary running game.
Hmm
Algier,
I would
Patterson
love
in
that.
receiving game. That's crazy.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Lock it in. Let's move on to the next pick.
All right. At number 9, I'm deciding between the two obvious ones, and that's Peter Skoronski and Paris Johnson at tackle. They need offensive line so bad. Paris Johnson's a better scheme fit for them. In the wide zone scheme, he's a better mover, more athletic. Peter Skoronski, he's a Illinois guy, local guy. I don't know. It's really hard to pick. It's hard to predict what's going to happen. At least I don't know who they're going to pick at this. between the two. It's gonna be one of them.
Hear
I
me
think I'm gonna
out.
go Paris. I think I'm gonna go. Oh, what?
Darnell Wright, my guy. You see the Trevor Sikkema comparison to Trent Williams? He's a
Yeah.
mean, athletic dude, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
probably too
No,
rich.
I love him, and he is a really good fit for the Bears too. Like he could plug in a right tackle and be a beast or guard too. But I think they would trade down if they wanted Darnell Wright. With all the tackles available, I'm just going to take Paris Johnson. Best tools, best upside. He's really well rounded and the best in their scheme. So why not?
Safest lineman to take for sure. And with the, he's got the height, he's got the length, he's got everything you want from a tackle. So I love that pick. Wow, Tyree Wilson still here on the board.
Oh wow.
That's kind of crazy. The board's falling a little. This is a different mock than you'll probably see, but that's how draft day always turns out. It's the most unpredictable thing. Once the first pick, sometimes you can kind of predict that. But once the first pick goes, it's all chaos. That's draft day for you.
Yeah,
But
100%.
you know, the, I think if Tyree Wilson's sitting on the board at number 10 for the Eagles, they just hit a home run. I mean, that's a home run pick. You know, most of their defensive linemen are on a 1-year contract. You know, lock it in. That's too good a value to pass up.
All right. Yeah, that seems like a definitely seems like an Eagles pick, like preparing for Brandon Graham and all them to, or Brandon Graham and Robert Quinn to kind of phase out and pair him with Hassan Reddick. I like that a lot. That's a nasty D line. That's ridiculous.
100%.
So for the Lions, are you going to pick here since you traded down?
Well, I picked Stroud, right? So I mean, we'll give it to you. This would be your pick still.
All right. So this is the Lions' first pick of the draft. This is an interesting
Yes, sir.
situation. I've never seen this. Feel like it's a little rich for Kalijah Cansey. It's really good value
Biggest
for
fan S.
corner here.
Oh, who's still on the board? Wow.
Who I think I have to take one of them. I don't know. I kind of think Deontay Banks could be a
Kind of
Dan
feels like
Campbell
a Dan
guy.
Campbell guy. Yep. Jinx. We said the same thing right
But
there.
same with Joey Porter. um,
Christian Gonzalez. He's scheme proof. You can put him anywhere. He's
yeah.
probably the safest player. I mean, that's. I mean,
And with his
really.
upside at 11, I think I'm going to take Gonzalez. And with that upside, I'm going to let those coaches groom him to something great. I'm going to go Gonzalez.
I like that a lot. Wow. So the Texans didn't get a quarterback here. So this is kind of interesting. So they got Will Anderson.
Will
Uh,
Anderson.
this is interesting. Do we think they stick with Davis Mills since we didn't go quarterback here? Is he going to be their starter going into week one?
I think this is kind of like getting into the territory that since Will Levis is gone, I think they're just going to roll with like Carson Wentz or something like that. Just sign someone like that. I think that's probably their best case scenario for them too. That's what I would do if I was the owner or the GM of the Texans. Is just go Will Anderson and then another stud in the first, stack up on talent, and then try to go get Caleb Williams or someone next year.
Yes, I think they might be in the tank phase for Caleb Williams or
Yeah.
Drake.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I think that they go maybe I don't know, maybe they load up on defense. I mean, I think they need a wide receiver one, and
Mhm.
I've kind of continued to mock that to them. My highest graded wide receiver is Jackson Smith and Jigba right here. They kind of need that possession guy. They got rid of Brandon Cooks. You need a guy that can catch 100 passes a year and be your quarterback's safety blanket. So I want to lock Jackson Smith and Jigba in right here.
I love that fit to the Texans because they really need a receiver that can get open, that can separate within like the first 5 yards. So because they have Nico Collins and like some bigger receivers, so they need a receiver that can get open for some quick slants and help the quarterback out. So I love that fit. The Jets here, this is the literal perfect scenario, the dream scenario for the Jets. I probably would have traded down if he was gone. You have to take Skoronski. He can play anywhere in that line, and it's perfect. We were considering him at 5, and look where he ended up.
He
But
fall. The Jets would love that position flexibility too. I mean, him
he
and
could play
Elijah
center
Vera.
for them.
Yeah, Him and Elijah
And
Van Tucker are very similar prospects, and to have two of those guys, that'd be awesome.
yeah,
And I'm sure Rodgers would appreciate that too.
yeah,
So
it's rumored they're going to sign Ben Jones. So I mean, they have like seven capable linemen that they can rotate if they draft Skoronski. So that's a really good pick.
yeah, I love that. All right, the Patriots here, they're such a hard team to draft for. You never know what they're doing. I mean, we could go edge, we could go tackle, I could go corner. I mean, I think the corners are so good, and I think the fall off is pretty big right here. And if Deontay Banks is there, a guy with that speed and those traits and that high of an RAS score, um, I think Bill Belichick's going to fall in love with that, and I think it'd be Deontay Banks here. So, you know, I'm going to lock that in.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a perfect corner for that Belichick defense. He would be such a dog for them. Him, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, Jonathan Jones. There's so much talent in
And
that
he's a little
secondary
bit
now.
taller and more physical, so I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
the only part that they're lacking. So Deontay Banks would be such a good fit right there.
yeah. All three of their corners are short kings. They're insane, but they're all short. So that's a perfect compliment.
And
At
this is also
15.
yeah. So I think with the next like five picks, there's still we still got Joey Porter on the board. I don't know if a team would trade up for him.
Hmm.
That's something to consider. I know. Like
Ravens makes sense, but this is also a super deep corner class, so I think we should wait on trading up for a corner.
yeah, I like it.
Um, with Packers, I love to take Jackson Smith and Jigba here. Hate that he's gone. He's just a perfect fit for that offense. Oh, was Skoronski gone too? I think Skoronski seems like a Packer.
So is Lucas Van Ness for edge wise. He seems like a
He
Packer. Yeah,
does.
he seems like a Packer that I heard on a podcast today. Um, it was that franchise guy talking about Keon White to the Packers. He's like, I hate Keon
Oh,
White. He's not my guy either. Like kind of like you, but he's like,
yeah.
he just seems like such
He's a
a
Packer. Yeah. He's probably a Packer in the first two rounds for sure. Yeah.
for
That's a
sure. Whether
good
they take him
guy.
later. Yeah.
But I'm struggling trying to figure out what to do here. I think I'm gonna go with my like 10th player in the draft. I'm just gonna go with my guy Dalton Kincaid. Get Jordan Love all the help you can get. He's a great fit in that offense, a great receiving threat.
I love that pick. I think that's such a solid pick for them. Also, could have gone to the Redskins in the next pick. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Mhm.
So he's still my guy.
Sweet.
At the end of me, getting his version of Travis Kelsey would have been a nice pick at 16 too. But
Yeah, that
the
would be a dream.
pick came at 15. Um, gosh, the Commanders just need so much help.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a pretty decent receiving core. I like Scary Terry. I like Jahan Dotson. Diami Brown's fine. He's a fine third receiver. Um, they could definitely use some help on the offensive line. They got a pretty good defensive line. I mean, they've always had a solid defensive line.
They got a
Uh,
perfect defensive line.
the corner doesn't scare me too much here. Joey Porter's still on the board. I think that's tremendous value. Uh,
You'd be finessing the Steelers, and there's a big drop off at corner.
I think yeah. I mean, look at after Joey Porter, you got Emmanuel Forbes, Cam Smith. Yeah, there's a big. This is right where the drop off is, and Joey Porter's so good. He's so good. Lock him in. Give him to the Commanders. He's going to be a 10-year starter for them. I love that pick, and they still him right under the Steelers.
Yep. Yep. He's also a perfect fit for them because they have some shorter corners too. So he'd be a nice just set him on the outside for the next 10 years and let him dominate. I love it.
Sure. There's a lot of studs still available on the board for the Steelers here.
Yeah, you definitely just helped my pick for the Steelers because it probably would have been Joey Porter, but
Mm.
offensive
that
tackle
is
here.
that is my favorite fit for the Steelers.
Yeah.
He just seems like a Steeler. He would fit that scheme so well. Just a mean mauler. They need help for Kenny Pickett so bad. I could talk you into this pick all day long, but it's your pick.
Yeah, it's been leaked that Mike Tomlin has a huge crush on the guy at the Senior Bowl, him and Dwan Jones Bowl. That's what I'm kind of deciding between, and
I
Broderick
understand.
Jones. Like it's
There's
kind
so
of
many. There's so
yeah,
many. Yeah,
Like I love Darnell Wright, but like I'm gonna be honest, think I'm gonna take Broderick Jones.
that's good. That's a good pick. You couldn't go
Just
wrong.
because, dude, their left tackle is so bad, and Darnell Wright can play left tackle, but I kind of would trust him more just as a plug and play right tackle. Broderick Jones, I think, can be like a perennial left tackle, and at 17, I love Darnell Wright, but Steelers love Georgia guys. I'm going Broderick Jones. Sorry,
That's tremendous value too for Broderick Jones right there at
it
17.
is. I have him as
There's
my
a
third
lot
tackle.
of good tackles in there. Yeah, there's a lot of good tackles in this draft. I really like Broderick Jones as that fit, and then kind of Mike Tomlin probably love his Georgia guys right there. So I think that's a tremendous pick right there. I really like that. All right, so what do I got? The Lions at 18.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, and we gave them Christian Gonzalez. Ooh. Um, Gosh, I really like this pick for the Lions. I think he would thrive in their system. Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa.
Oh,
You
oh,
know, he's a guy who's tremendous. I don't love him personally. I didn't love his tape or anything, but he has tremendous upside. I mean, the size, the bull rush is there. You put him in a system with Dan Campbell. He's got Aiden Hutchinson out on the side. I think that's a perfect fit right there. So let's go, Lucas Van Ness.
all right. Would you consider Cansey on the
I would
interior?
consider Cansey. I think he's just a little bit undersized, and edge is so much more of a premium position than defense than interior. Yeah, in the interior of the defensive line. So I think you got to get your edge, you got to get your premium positions first, and I think they could circle back in the second round with like a guy like Siaki. Yeah, I think that would be a really good fit for them in like the second round. A big guy that can just play right in the one technique and just plug up the run game. So I'd rather have Lucas Van Ness here
I love
than
that. I
having
love
James Houston as your third.
Yeah, I love pairing him up with Aiden Hutchinson. I love that. Dan Campbell would love to get a hold of his tools and work with him. So I love that. I'll lock that
I
in.
think the drop off at edge is substantially bigger than the interior of the defensive line. I think you can find guys in the later rounds.
Definitely, definitely. 19.
All right, you got the Buccaneers at pick 19.
All right, 19. I'm 100% going tackle. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Darnell Wright and move Tristan Wirfs to left tackle where he played at Iowa. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go Darnell Wright, move Tristan to left tackle. They need it. They need two bookend
I haven't
tackles. So
seen that. I haven't seen that before, and I like that. That's a solid pick right there. Darnell Wright with Tristan Wirfs. I mean, they don't have a very good quarterback situation, but that's how you protect your quarterback right there, and that's how you get a good run game. I mean,
hmm.
those two tackles, you run to either side, and they're maulers. So I really like that pick. It's a great
Yeah,
pick.
whenever they draft their future quarterback, they'll have their tackle duo to help him. And if Tristan doesn't want to move to the left, they can take Anton Harrison. But I think he wouldn't mind. He played there at Iowa and he was great.
They probably get a little bit of a pay raise too. So
He would. Yeah, I don't think he'd mind. Yeah,
all right, the Seahawks at 20. Who do we give them? They took. Please scroll back up.
yeah, they took Anthony Richardson.
Oh, Anthony Richardson. They can go a number of different directions right here.
What about Osiris Torrance? Pair him up with Anthony Richardson. They need guard.
Oh, the Florida connection. You can't talk
It's
me out
it's
of that.
hard. It's
You can't
hard.
talk.
There's that or receiver though. Like receiver makes sense too. But yeah,
I think this receiver class is pretty deep to get guys
mm,
in the second, third round. They still got, I mean, they still have DK and Tyler Lockett, so that's
yeah,
still a solid duo. And yeah, why not? Why not just beef up that offensive line for eventually Anthony Richardson to play behind? And I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
when Anthony Richardson goes in with that run game with running behind Osiris Torrance, ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
perfect situation. I mean, the Seahawks are in such a perfect situation in the future. They've set themselves up so nicely.
I love that pick. Yeah, that was a yeah. That's seamless. That's perfect. I didn't even have to think twice about it.
All right. Well, not gonna lie, I was planning on giving your Chargers Bijan Robinson, the next LaDainian Tomlinson, like you said, but
Sadly.
With him being gone, I have an easy decision. Brian Branch, you're a Los Angeles Charger.
I love it. I love it. That gets me pumped up. You know how excited I would be for Brian Branch to be on the Chargers? Him and Derwin James as a safety duo. I mean, Brian Branch would relieve Derwin and allow him to play at so many different positions. And Brian Branch can play nickel, the hardest position, I think, in football, on the defensive side of the ball. The dude has no missed tackles. Staley even said in an interview, they're like, what's the difference between your corners in Los Angeles from both Los Angeles teams? He goes, well, with the Chargers, my corners can't tackle. There's a guy that has the lowest missed tackle rate, I think, ever coming out of college for a safety. So that is
Yeah,
a fantastic pick and great value there. I'm
that
happy you
is a
did.
good point.
I got a smile on
Yeah.
my face. I hope it happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that was another good point you made. Like, that gives you the flexibility to move Brian Branch to slot corner, strong safety, free safety. You can move Derwin to free safety, linebacker, edge rusher, strong safety. You can move Michael Davis to safety. You can move Asante Samuel to safety slot. Like, that gives your very flexible secondary a very, fun, very
and
fun secondary.
and I quote from my head coach, Brandon Staley, saying, as long as I'm the coach, we will be adding secondary pieces every year. So you got to catch them all, like Pokemon. So I
Yeah.
love it. That's such a good fit. He fits who the
And
Chargers are as a team. So
they haven't added any that I'm aware of this year. So yeah, Brian Branch will be that dude.
love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. We got the Ravens here at 22. They just signed Odell, so I think you can kind of cross off wide receiver, unless they wanted a guy like Zay Flowers, which maybe. Edge, can you go to Ed? Oh, Nolan Smith is still available. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Nolan's
Ooh.
available.
Ooh. You know, give me Nolan Smith and that Ravens defense. I really like that. That is tremendous value. I think that's the second biggest need.
Before you lock it in, I will say they have Ojabo coming back from injury with Odafe Owe. But I mean, I like it. He's obviously great value, and you can move him all around. So if you want to lock it in, I like it.
You know what? For the value right there, it's such a premium position. Um, David Ojabo might honestly. I mean, could he play the interior? He was a pretty big dude, huh?
I don't think he could play interior. He's more of just like an outside speed rusher. Odafe Owe could play inside better.
Who's
Like
still available?
you
Let's
could move
circle
them
back.
around. I was gonna give you one option. DJ Turner, they love their Michigan guys. They have the Michigan D coordinator. They have the Harbaugh connection. I think Turner could be fun since the Ravens. I mean, the Maryland corner is gone, Deontay Banks. So I think
Right.
DJ Turner could be realistic, but it is a little bit rich.
That is a little rich
Could
for
could go Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers,
you.
Cansey.
You know what I like about Nolan Smith is he's kind of like that. Like you gave him a player comp of Baron Browning, Von
Mhm.
Miller. That's kind of guy that stand up,
Yeah.
outside linebacker, hybrid edge. I think the value is just there. I like it too
No,
much.
I like it. It's a good pick. They have the Georgia connection with Todd Monken, even,
Hmm.
coming in. Not that he's offensive or anything, but he's a big player at Georgia. He's really good. And yeah, you can even start him as an off-ball linebacker, have him rush from there, just move him all around. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
And
they're a
then
deep, so I love that pick.
all right, and then I got the Vikings.
Yes, sir.
I'm really deciding between corner and receiver for the Vikings. Shoot. Quentin Johnson could be a good complement to Justin Jefferson and a good replacement for Thielen. We were kind of talking about this before the podcast. Quentin Johnson, we should probably talk about this right now, I guess. Quentin Johnson kind of feels like the receiver in this draft class that would fall out of the first round. I don't know about what you think, but personally, I think it feels like he's going to be the George Pickens and the Christian Watson of last year. He's got the best tools in this class, so like he could go in this range, but I just feel like he's going to fall for some reason.
Yeah, well, he didn't even get invited to the combine, or sorry, not to the combine, to the draft either. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a telltale sign. So, I mean, most, I guess, executives, NFL executives and stuff didn't think he would go in the first, which,
Mhm.
that's
And
kind
that was
of
out of fear that he would fall out of like the second or third, like out of day three. So like that's weird. I don't know what's up with that. They invited Keon White to the draft, but he's gonna have to wait there a long time, I think. But
Mhm.
um, Zay Flowers is a good compliment. Let's look at the corners. Oh, there's less corners available for sure. I think receiver makes sense here. Is there a position like Cansey makes sense here?
Elijah Cancer would
They
be good.
they lost Dalvin Tomlinson. They do need an interior. He doesn't play like Dalvin Tomlinson at all because of the size. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna replace Dalvin Tomlinson. I'm gonna take Brian Breesy. That's beautiful. I love that. I'm taking
He's
Brian
definitely being
Breesy. Like
undervalued. He's being undervalued for whatever reason. I
yeah,
mean, he's such a stud. Brian Reese would, be a plug and play starter and a really good one for the Vikings. So I really like that.
yeah. I think that's a great fit.
Mhm. All right, so I would commonly mock the Brian Branch to the Jaguars, but he is no longer there. So show me the top. I think guard, center, edge. Miles Murphy's still here. That's very
Well,
appealing to
I
me.
will say
Ooh,
Anton and DeWanda here, and they lost Juwan
yeah,
Taylor to the Chiefs.
I didn't even think
Interior,
about that.
Villa's the best interior. They could go John Michael Schmitz.
Ooh, let's go. I mean, I like Miles Murphy.
Miles Murphy's been training with Trayvon Walker this offseason. You never know.
That would be. I'm kind of deciding between Miles Murphy and Dewan Jones. I
Yeah.
mean, tackle is probably more of a premium position. Um, I have a first round grade on Dewan Jones. I think he's a plug and play right tackle,
Mm,
and that's exactly what they need. I mean, they lost Juwan Taylor to the Chiefs. They
yeah.
need a guy that can come plug in and play tackle for them. And
Mm,
that dude's such a freak. I mean, his size, he showed out at the Senior Bowl. I think a team would be crazy not to take him in the first round. So, and your number one priority has got to be to protect Trevor Lawrence.
yeah.
So let's do Dewan Jones here.
I love that. And I know Jaguars fans love Walker Little and Ben Barch. I like them too. But your left tackle Cam Robinson's getting up there in age. They can both play guard very well. So I just love getting another stud into that line. And yeah, that's a great pick.
Be a guy that can protect Trevor Lawrence for a long time. So yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
But the Giants, people love giving them receiver. Quentin Johnson would be a good Giants receiver. Zay Flowers is falling for us.
Zay Flowers seems like every other receiver they have. So I would like if I was, I mean, I like Jordan Addison or Quentin Johnston there. Um, I mean, center, they could definitely use a center prospect. They could get their number one guy if that's the highest on their board. Um, Kalijah Cansey wouldn't even be bad here for some interior pass rush, which is so hard to get.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good people here.
I think I haven't really seen this, or I haven't done this that much at least. But I think Dayball is going to get a little cocky, and he's going to like the traits that Quentin Johnson has, and I think he's going to think that he can fix Quentin Johnson and make him into a real wide receiver one. He has the brain, he has the traits. He kind of just has lapses on film where it's like he's not great at contested catches, he's not great at separating, he's not great at his route running isn't great. Like I mean that's all coachable though, and the non-coachable stuff is what he is just the best in the class out of the position. I think Dable thinks that he can make him their wide receiver one.
Yeah, and they just signed Danny Dimes to a bag, so you better get him some weapons. So
Yeah.
you can make him look good. So yeah, Quentin Johnson probably does have the most upside in this draft class. He's got the traits. He's fast. He's got the size. I feel like that's something the Giants always lack is size, high
Mhm.
receiver. So I like that pick.
Yeah, they got a bunch of short receivers, so let's just get him in to replace Galladay, and yeah, I like it.
All right, so I got the Cowboys here at 26. This is an interesting pick. I mean, Mike McCarthy's such a weird coach.
Yeah.
I kind of hate him. I don't like the guy, but he does talk about improving free agency to the Texans this year. So I mean, how do you improve your run game a lot with a good tight end, a good blocking tight end? Michael Mayer's still sitting on the board here. This is very tempting to me, but also Kalijah Cansey. I don't know. Talk me out of Michael Mayer.
I can't talk you out of it. I like Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot, but I can't talk you out of guy that I compare to Jason Witten. He's a super safe floor, reliable for Dak, something that they kind of need in the offense. Perfect Dalton Schultz replacement, actually. I can't really talk you out of that. I like Mozzie Smith. I like Cansey. Cansey, I can't believe he's still available, but yeah, I would say Cansey or him.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely Elijah Kansas. The value is there for sure, but they want to run the ball. They lost Dalton Schultz. Michael Mayer can kind of do it all. He can be a safety. They have, and he's a fantastic blocker. He's tight end. He reminds me exactly of Jason Witten. And let's get the reincarnation of Jason Witten. Let's go Michael Mayer right here.
I love that, and he's a perfect complement to that offense. So I love it.
All
For the
right, you got the
Bills,
Bills at 27.
I really love like Antonio Johnson for the Bills. I just think this is probably too early. I feel like he's kind of falling down boards a little bit. Um, I think Antonio Johnson could be a perfect Bill, though. I hope they get him in the second at least. But I think Kalijah Cansey here could be interesting.
Oh yeah, you can never have too many pass rushers, and he's a stud. Miles Murphy's still somehow on the board. Will
Yeah,
McDonald's on the board. I mean, there's a
get
lot.
Miles Murphy with Von Miller to mentor him.
Even wide receiver. Their wide receiver. They lost Isaiah McKenzie. Um,
With Zay
what's
Flowers and Addison both there.
that's
This
a
is a tough pick.
being in the AFC. You got to put up 38 points to beat the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
invest in offense. So I mean, wide receiver makes a lot of sense here too.
You know what? With Gabe Davis looking disappointing to say the least, and them losing Isaiah McKenzie, which they need to replace right now, it's just Khalil Shakir in the slot. So I am going to take Zay Flowers. I like that a lot. I think Addison's redundant with Stephon Diggs, so I think Zay Flowers is perfect for that offense.
That's an awesome pick right there. For people who want to compete in the AFC, I mean, offense, you gotta compete with the Chiefs, who somehow score 30 plus points a game. The Bills are really close. I don't love Gabe Davis either. I think he's very, very, very mid. I mean, occasionally he'll have that game where he has 2 catches for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, or he'll be a 3 catch guy for 10 yards.
Yeah.
Um, I like Zay Flowers there. I think he can come in, immediately step in and use your number 2 over Gabe Davis and be a great compliment to Stephon Diggs. He's a burner too, so it'd be fun to watch him with Josh Allen, watching him get vertical. So I think that's a really fun pick.
That would be fun.
All right, and now I got the Bengals at 28, and I think this is where I'm going to let the Kalijah Cansey fall stop. I would love to see Kalijah Cansey in a Bengals uniform. They play the bear front a lot, and I think he would just plug and play and be maybe a 5-6 sack guy every season from the interior, and that's hard to find in the NFL these days. So that's a solid pick, but great value for the Bengals.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bear front. Like they have Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader, BJ Hill. They have absolute like big beasts on that D line. So getting Cansey in there to move around all over the D line with the other players having the size, I feel like he complements them all really well. That's a great fit.
Copy the Eagles method. I mean, those guys had one of the best defensive lines in football last year, and it worked. Put up like 70, 80 sacks or whatever, broke like an NFL record, and it was fun to watch, and that helped get them to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Cansey with Lou Anarumo's defense is pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Saints at 29.
I hate picking for the Saints. I hate it. I was going to take Cansey there. I was going to take Mayer. I hate picking for the Saints. You can never predict it. They love their D lineman. Keanu Benton feels like a Saint.
Miles Murphy's still on the board. So is
Miles
Will
Murphy's
McDonald.
best player available. Felix Anuduke Izama is a perfect replacement to the guy they lost to the Vikings, Davenport. I actually really like that. But would they go with the upside of Murphy? Yeah, I'm going to go Murphy to replace Davenport just for the upside in the first round. I think they can get Uzama second round. He has a higher floor, but I'm going to go with the upside for Murphy. I like that fit.
Yeah, premium position. The fall off, I think, after Miles Murphy and Will McDonald here is substantial. So I don't think they could grab a real difference maker in the second round. So that's a really good pick. Who do we give the Eagles at 10? Again,
Eagles got did they get Tyree Wilson.
wow, good for them. That's a phenomenal pick for them. Um, Gosh, they're kind of a hard pick right here. They could go in a number of different directions. I don't think wide receiver is their biggest need, even though that's what PFF has it listed as. Guard center, their line's pretty good. They could definitely. I mean, who's the? You know who I'd like to see here? Go to safety. Go scroll over to safety for me, would you?
I'm on safety. You
Okay,
see him?
Antonio Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I like Antonio Johnson here. I think he kind of, they lost their safety, lost both of their starting safeties in free agency. He's kind of a hybrid role player. He can play slot too. Um, I really like that fit, and I think this is about the highest I feel like I could see him going. But let's lock him into the Eagles there. I think he'd plug and play into that system flawlessly,
All right.
and they need
Yeah,
safety help. They lost Gardner Johnson and agency, so
yeah, he'd be perfect in either of those roles. He can play all over, so I like that a lot. And
all right. Final pick
finish
in the
finishing it off with the Super
first
Bowl
round of the
champs,
2023 NFL draft.
Kansas City Chiefs. I know you love giving Will McDonald here. Um, Miles Murphy's gone.
No matter what they do, they get somebody good. Doesn't matter.
Yep, literally. Barrier, Mozzie.
Ooh, that'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison.
Yep. We're going Jordan Addison to the Kansas City Chiefs. That is just ridiculous. You can replace Juju. Better than Juju. I love that. That's
Hey,
a nasty connection.
oh,
Him and Mahomes.
oh, geez.
I hate that.
Oh no, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
You hate to see the Super Bowl champs getting even better. They always get value, no matter where they pick. They always get value. So they're so good. Their GM's a stud.
Gosh.
All right. What do you think? Not too shabby, huh? It's a little different than, the ordinary mocks. We switched it up a little bit.
Yeah. I thought it was a super good mock. It's kind of unorthodox. I haven't really seen a lot of these picks, but I think a lot of them make sense. A lot of them are exciting. Yeah, I love it a lot. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of switch it up and think outside the box because that's usually what happens. Whoever's our, first round projections, the NFL GMs may think completely different based on scheme fit, personality. I mean, so much goes into their work on who they draft, and it could throw us all off. We're used to hearing what a lot of the Daniel Jeremiah's and stuff say, and usually they're off most of their picks. So, it's kind of fun to change it up a little bit and think outside the box. And, Bijan to the Falcons, Titans trading up for Stroud. I think it's a really fun mock, and I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes in the NFL draft. So anything can happen. But yeah, that was really fun. Do you want to talk about our next episode?
Yeah, so our next episode coming here later in the week is going to be our sleepers. So we're going to do one sleeper, each of us for each round. And then we're going to also try and do another mock draft before the draft. So maybe Thursday morning, I think is what we're shooting for. But our next episode is going to be all of our NFL draft sleepers. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yep. Next week is draft week, so it's a big one. I'm excited. Can't wait. That's what we're here for. But
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for tuning in. It was a fun one. Check us out, NFL Seekers Podcast on all platforms. But yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Thanks, guys.